Hey guys, it's Maymay and I'm super excited to bring you another Fernil Designs design team project today, and this one is super cool. This is one of those birthday hangers that you can hang, and then you have these little hearts that you put the names of the people on, and you put them underneath the month that corresponds with their birthday, and you put the day of their birthday and their name on there. How cute, right? And they hang down. I think this is a perfect gift for Christmas time because when January rolls around, it's time to start sending out cards again. This is a great way to know who gets a card when. Now, I love the look of this raw wood, but I know that would freak some people out if I'd left it raw and decorated this the way I would probably do it. So I'm going to paint it, but it's going to be real pale, and I'm going to show you some tricks. Now, you also have here all the little letters for the months. So this is January through December in this little pile, and I'll show you how to use those soon. But I'm going to move those out of the way for now so I don't lose them. And look how Family Birthdays works. These are all wood pieces, and they're all separate. So I'm just going to slide these off to the top here and get those out of our way for now. And I'm going to start with this guy. We're going to paint it. Now, I think this is a super cool project, and the reason I wanted to do it is because last year, my daughter-in-law Samantha made these for family members, her grandparents, and I thought this was such a cute idea. Now, hers didn't look exactly like this. It was really, really cute, but I wanted one too, so I thought, when Lou contacted me and told me to pick something out to do, I was like, there's what I want to do right there. Make me a birthday plaque. Now, the paint I'm going to use is my classic Waverly chalk paint. You know I love this stuff. I think it's great from Walmart. And by the way, I noticed lately that they're selling this chalk paint in smaller size bottles now, which I think is super cool because you may not always need this big old bottle like I use. So check that out. I saw it at Walmart just like last weekend that they have them in smaller. I don't think the colors are much different, but they do have them in smaller sizes. Now I'm painting this and I'm trying not to seal that hole up with paint, and I got some in there, so when I get through I'll clean that out with a Q-tip or something and make sure there's none in there. But I'm just going to do, I'm not doing like a solid coat. I'm going to let it, if it wants to be rustic, I'm going to let it be rustic. I'm just going to kind of paint, and see how I got those brush strokes? I'm not worried about that because my plan for the next part of this will hide all of that. Now what I've done is I'm taking a piece of wax paper and I put some double-sided tape down, and this is not to be permanent. It's just to help hold my little letters in place because I'm going to paint them as well. I think I'm going to paint them a chocolate color, or really it's called hazelnut. It's that same chalk paint that I'm going to use, and I thought this would be a good way to stick them down and keep them from moving around so I could paint them and get them all done at the same time. So I've got my sticky tape all onto the wax paper. Then I'm just going to take the letters and just lay them into it, and it's not going to stick permanently or even semi-permanently for that matter, just enough to hold them still while I'm painting so I can get around them. Now, I'm going to try not to paint the sides. The sides are already very dark because it's laser cut wood, so it's kind of a burned color, which I like. So I'm not too stressed about that. I really just want to paint the tops of them so that they'll have some color on top as well. And I'm just going to stick these guys down into place, and I'll start to paint. So the color I'm using is actually not too far off from the natural color of the wood. And I'm just going to use a little paintbrush and just kind of carefully paint the tops. And I'm not stressing too much if I get some on the side or anything like that. Just a nice even coat all around on all these letters, and we will get right back together. So here we go. So this guy is all dry. And I want to ask you a question. You ever thought about using your stamps in some home decor projects? Well, I'm going to today. I'm going to use this wood grain stamp, and I'm going to see if I want to do it this way, like all the way across, because I think I'll be able to line this up easy doing it this way, and it'll look like wood planks going up and down. And I think I'm going to use this little tree stamp down here, maybe. We're going to see how it looks. I'm going to use two different inks to try to make it work. This one I'm going to use a real pale ink, like the most pale one that I have. So let me dig in my stash and see what I've got. So this is kind of taking a tip from my friend Gareth. He did this. He made one of the Fernil projects, and he used one of these Do Craft background stamps to do this with, and I thought that's brilliant, and I want to try it. So the color I'm going to use today is Versafine. This is, what color is this one? Toffee. I think this will be a good color. It's a little pale, but it's not like super pale. And I'm doing that same thing again where if I don't get everything inked, I'm not going to stress about it. But I'm kind of hurrying because I'm using my little cube and I don't want it to dry too much. But we should be all right. Go back through there, hit all these spots. And I'm going to lay this onto the wood piece instead of bringing the wood piece to it like I normally do with these stamps. I'm going to pick this guy up, just checking all those spots that look like I've got everything covered. So let's pick this dude up, bring this guy over, and I'm just going to lay it down and stamp it. So I got it laid down nice. I love that these come on these big clean pieces because I don't have to even put them on a block. They do make a block for them, and you can put it on a block, but I am not even going to stress about that. Now, I smeared that a little bit, but it really doesn't look bad. It looks like wood plank, and you can tell I smeared it a tiny bit, but not too bad. So now I'm going to go do this end down here. I think this is so cool to think about using your stamps in your home decor pieces. I think it's a good idea. I have to hold my breath, right? Make sure I get it, and then lift it up. Look at there, super cool. You can't even tell where those two met or where they crossed each other. I think that looks really, really nice. Now, I did it in that pale color because I also want to stamp that tree on it because this is family birthdays. So let me see what the tree will look like. This tree we carry in our store, and it's coming back. We're sold out of it right now, but it is on its way back. Wonder how that'll look. I don't know if it will show up very well there. So I decided that the tree is not going to show up very well on this wood grain the way I've got it. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking a dry brush. This is the paint brush that's not got much paint. Like, I didn't dip it in any paint. This is what was left when I was doing the whitewash of this piece earlier. And I'm just kind of knocking that back into the background. So when I do stamp that stamp on it, you'll be able to see it better. Yep, let's keep doing that. I think that's going to help. I may have to dip into some paint, but I still want that wood grain to show through a bit, but I don't want it to be so much so that you can't see my tree. So as I got going, I decided to get a little heavier with the paint. I'm still kind of dry brushing, but I'm really making a good clear spot and kind of feathering it out into the wood so it doesn't look like I painted just a big square to put the tree. It'll fit there, but it'll still kind of feel like it blends in well. So I'm feathering this with circular motions, just kind of bringing that chalk paint out, and then that's where the tree will live. I think that's going to be cool. So I got a little excited, and I picked the guy up too soon. My ink wasn't quite dry right here, so I kind of smeared that ink. But then I just went back and kind of rubbed it and kind of smeared it all together, and I think it'll blend in. And when I put the words birthday on it, you won't even notice it, family birthdays. So here's my tree, and it's going to go in this area. And notice what I did. I put it on my Fisker stamp press, and so this way I can kind of put it where I want it and press it right into place. And I'm going to stamp it in black. I was going to stamp it in a light brown, but I think I really want it to pop, so I want to put some black there. And I also am going to be using hooks on here that are black to hold my hearts, so that'll kind of bring those two colors together. So this is some black VersaFine, and once I do this, I'm going to let this sit and dry for a little while because I want to make sure I don't make that same mistake and smear this ink. So I'm really going to let this sit and dry. So here's my tree, and it's going in that spot that we had, and I don't feel like that middle is inked, and I want to be careful, so I want to ink it again. Make sure you do that same thing. Yeah, I didn't feel like that was inked at all, because I'm not going to be able to do this twice because I'm not using like a stamp positioning tool, so I want to make sure I get it good and inked. So there we go. All right, so put it in place where we want it. Press it down and make sure I press everywhere really well. Then I can lift up. And look at our pretty little tree. I love that so much. I think that is adorable. Now I'm going to let that dry, and the letters are still drying, so I'm going to let everything kind of sit and dry, and then we'll come back together and start to assemble this guy. So while I was sitting here looking at this stamp set has this little swing stamp included in it, and I was like, I really want that little swing on that tree. So I went in and inked it up with some Olympia green ink, and I'm just stamping it down here so that there can be a little swing hanging out of the tree. How cute is that? And there are lots of other images on this stamp set, by the way, that I could use, and I may even decide to. There's like leaves and birds and bird houses and everything on this little stamp set. And it's coming back. It sold out when we first got it, but it is coming back to stock probably this week, and I'll make sure I let you guys know on our Facebook group whenever it comes back. But I'll also put a link below so you can go check it out and put it on your wish list so you can grab it when it gets there. But now I need to let this guy dry really good so we don't have another issue like I did there. The letters are still drying. I just want to let it sit for a little bit and dry, and then we'll come back and finish it off. So check this out. Everything is dry now. My tree is dry. Make sure, yep, no ink is coming off. And the swing set is dry. And now I want to put the family word on. Now here is the thing. I'm going to use a ruler here. And I have kind of place these and put a little mark where I want the birthday word to be. So I'm going to slide this up like so I can make an actual mark. And the cool thing about these like clear see-through rulers is you can find your spot. I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. You can find, I'm going to go this way. You can find that mark that you made. I made that mark right there. And then using the clear part, I can make sure I'm going to make a straight line by lining it up on the edge of my plaque because I can see through it. So I'm just using another line down here close to where I'm at. I'm going to hold that into place and then make just a very light pencil line. What this line is going to be is for me to know where to line up the word birthdays. I'm going to do birthdays first, and then I'll worry about the other words after that. And I'm going to start from here, from this end, and work back. And the reason is I really don't care where birthday stops, but I do want to make sure I have room for the S. So that's kind of the method for my madness. So now I'm going to use some of this Aleene's tacky glue. I just picked this up at Walmart, and this is the one that I like it because it sits where the glue always comes to the tip of it. And I literally just picked this dude up. So let's take that out of there. And I also love this tip. I think this is going to be awesome. You could use a hot glue here, but my thing was I want to be able to put this into place and kind of move it around a little bit. So I thought if I wanted to do that, a tacky glue would be the way to go. So that way I can kind of wiggle it into place and not worry about the hot glue cooling too fast. So I'll show you what I mean. So if I put this S here, then I can just kind of move it around until I get it exactly where I want it and see how that works. So that's why I want to use the tacky glue. Plus, I'm going to put this little lid here because when you're done, you stand it up like this and you just grab it out of there and you don't have to try to work that glue back down. And this will dry pretty quick. I got to tell y'all, these are the quickest projects. The one I showed you Monday and this one today, and they don't look super quick. Like they look like they might take you some time to get done. But I have really been able to get these done pretty quick and really enjoyed myself. Slide that just a wee bit up, like so. Now we'll go to the A, and I'm just going to work my way backwards on this word and put this down. Also, I've had a question about Fernil that I want to answer and make sure I answer in a video. The question is, do they ship overseas? They do. Fernil is a UK-based company. They are the ones who make these little wooden pieces that I've got here, and they do ship overseas. So you can purchase it and they will ship them to you, and their prices are amazing. And I just think you'll enjoy making these little gifts for friends and family. Now that gets birthday placed, and I love how easy that was by drawing that pencil to get that perfectly straight. So I'm going to do the same thing up here, and I'm going to decide where I want this to go and then draw myself that pencil line. I really think the pencil line makes a difference. Family. Oh, that's going to be perfect. Yep, I like how that looks. All right, so I'm going to make myself a mark underneath this A and maybe underneath this I. And then I'm going to slide these guys off. And I'm going to go back to my ruler, place it here. Now this time I'll be able to kind of line it up with my birthday word. Just try to get it good and straight. I'm also going to look here and see when it's nice and even. Pretty much eyeballing. It feels like I'm measuring, but I'm not. Then just a very light pencil line, so I can know exactly where to put those guys. All right, so let's place the family, and let me look at the Y. I probably should start with the Y, because the Y is the most important for me, so I think I am. I'm going to start with it here. Because it has this tail on it, and because that D lifts up from the word underneath, I want to make sure I get this one placed first. So I'm going to go ahead and place that one there. Perfect. I love the way these letters are cut so that they are cursive and they just line perfectly up with each other. Just perfectly. But they're done separately, so if you want to change the way they look, if you wanted to kind of lay them out differently, you could. You could still use them as individual letters, but I love how they match up perfectly with each other. So I picked up these kind of big flower pot hooks from Walmart, and they're not very expensive. They come 4 to a pack, so just ever how many you need. And I want to use these for my hearts. And the reason is I like the idea of being able to place a hook here and then place a heart on that hook, just like so. And then if I need to change anything or add a birth date, it's super easy because everything will just be hooked together and just hang down kind of long. I liked this look. You can do this in so many different ways. You can put ribbon, you can run ribbon down here, you can use paper clips, you can use other S hooks, you can gosh, you could even just tie these together any old way you want to do it, but I wanted to use those hooks, so that's what I'm going to be using to put my hearts on. But first I need to put my month letters on. Now I decided these month letters were too tiny for me to try to paint, and I wasn't going to stress about that, so I left them just in the raw state. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue. I'm going to zoom you guys in. So I'll just be putting a dot of glue above the little circle where these go. And I'm going to drop that J into place for January. Then I'll find my F for February and do the same thing. Now I wanted to try that hook and make sure it would work. So that was a little dry run I was doing there to make sure that I could squeeze that hook in even if I had these letters in place. And I can. So I'm just going to put all these guys on, and then we'll put our hooks and our hearts in. Now, while everything is still wet here, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to lay it on the edge and just make sure everything is lined up even here, and just slide them into even, and do the same thing with that D down there, and then just go back and straighten everything. So look how cute our little army of hearts are that hang from the bottom of our birthday plaque. Now I did them like this just to show you, but obviously you might have one January birthday and 4 March birthdays or what have you, so these would be mixed up. And as a suggestion, buy extras of these, especially if you're giving this as a gift, so that whoever has these will have plenty of hearts for the birthdays that they have coming up. Now I used those long plant hooks, and I like that. I wanted them to hang long and be super easy for me to change them. I don't like to have to fiddle with them, and because of how far apart that is, I can get these off so easy because you can see how much space I have to work with. And let me put this one back because it's super easy to do. So think about how you want to hang them. If you're looking for a more permanent application, just tie them together. Now the other thing we need to work on is creating a tie for the top or something to hang it from. There are lots of options. You could obviously just nail this to the wall, but I think what I'm gonna do is run some ribbon through it and then tie a bow at the front. So this is some wire ribbon that I have, so I'm gonna kind of roll this up and make it where it will fit through the hole. And I may just tie a knot. Have you ever seen how cute that is? Kind of rustic looking when they just tie the little knot on it. And you can obviously do this before you put your hearts at the bottom. I was just too anxious to see all those little hearts laying down there, so I got ahead of myself. So I'm going to pull this piece of ribbon through. Let's just tie a knot here, and then I will trim it. So just wrap that around, stick that through the hole, tie a knot, kind of loose so it can hold it really well. Pull that back, just like so, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. So now we have a little knot on that side, and then just leave yourself enough at the top for ever how long you want it to hang from the wall, because it'll hang from this piece of ribbon, and then cut yourself some off to run through the other side. Of course, you can do this 100 different ways. I went on Pinterest and looked, and there is a lot of inspiration there for you if you wanted to kind of look at how they're done. So many different ways you can do this. I saw them done with wire. The little hangers are so cute. Gosh, nailed straight to the wall. You can put string through here and then maybe hot glue some flowers over where the holes are. Anything you want to do. But I just thought this would be cute, and I thought this ribbon worked perfectly with this, the way we have it all designed today. So feed this through, tie a little knot. And guys, I'm serious. If you're looking for quick, easy gifts, this is one of them. And it will be such a welcome addition to anybody's home because we all have birthdays to celebrate, right? Super cute. I love how this turned out. I hope you guys do too. There'll be links below if you're interested in picking up one of these exact plaques just like I used today for this project. And thanks again to Lou from Fernil Designs for letting me design for her this month. I got one more project that's coming up next week. Friday, fingers crossed, if everything works out, we should have a wreath video. So a lot of you guys have been asking about a Christmas wreath for Christmas in July. That should be coming Friday. So stick around for that. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Tell me in the comments below what month is your birthday. I want to know. Mine is in May. Tell me what month yours is. You don't have to tell me the year. That's none of my business. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you make a project like this, or if you try out any of the Fernil projects especially, I'd love to see what you've made with them. Join us over on our Facebook group, which is called Maymay Made It, and so did I. We love inspiration, and we love it when it comes from you guys, our crafty friends and family. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.